Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're going to be speaking with Alison Miles this morning. She's a patient living with Pompe disease. That's a condition that develops when the body can't make a certain protein that breaks down a complex sugar. She's also going to be talking about the importance of self-education, patient empowerment, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the company that she started due to her own mobility issues and a little bit about the COMET clinical trial as well. A lot to talk about in a very short period of time. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Alison Miles. How are you?
Thank you, Neil. I'm doing well. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time this morning. Give us a little bit of background. Tell us what it is that you do and where it is that you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm 37. I live in the Chicago area. I'm a wife, a mother of 8-year-old twin boys, and I'm a small business owner. I was also diagnosed with Pompe about 3.5 years ago.
What is Pompe disease?
So Pompe disease, it's a hereditary condition in which the body fails to produce the GAA enzyme. So what that does is it leads to a buildup of glycogen in the cells, ultimately kind of breaking down the muscle cells and leading to weakness in the muscles, most commonly in the legs, the core, proximal muscles, and also can impact the respiratory and heart muscles as well.
What were some of the symptoms that prompted you to seek help in the first place?
So what I was finding with myself was that I felt really tired and out of shape. And, to give some examples, I found that it became hard to squat down and pick up things off the floor. I found that if I was sitting in a chair, it was hard to stand up using my legs alone. I'd need my arms for support. And I remember once hurrying for a train, and I found that I was so exhausted by that effort. I said, something just isn't right. I feel like if I keep going down this path, I may not be able to walk in several years. And so that prompted me to seek medical guidance.
Now, were you normally an active person? Did you work out?
I was a pretty active person. And, it's interesting. I sprained my ankle, and it was during that period when all of a sudden I wasn't quite as active. And I realized the things that I used to be able to do quickly fell away, much more so than you would expect from somebody just out for a short injury.
Did you think that maybe you just psychologically decided, you weren't interested that much anymore after the ankle injury, or were you sure it was a physical thing?
That's a great question. I had a lot of thoughts go through my mind, but ultimately I felt like something just wasn't right. The movements I wasn't able to do, like standing up, becoming hard, just was not a normal thing for somebody suffering a minor ankle injury.
So who initially did you talk to? I know you're a mother. Did you have anyone to talk to about what you were going through before you ultimately went to a physician?
I did speak with some family and close friends about it, really along the same times that I made an appointment. And they all agreed it was a good thing to check out. But I think it was surprising to everybody when, it came back that I had such a rare condition.
How rare is it?
So historically, Pompe disease has been about 1 in 40,000. Pompe disease is now becoming more commonly part of a newborn screening panel in many states. And so we do expect that frequency to be a bit more common. Maybe I've heard things like 1 in 15,000 now, but we'll have to see what happens over the next several years there.
So what's been your normal course of maintenance for the condition?
So I have been taking a drug, and it's a biweekly infusion, and that is what I do to, slow the progression of the disease, aside from just, trying to take care of myself with exercise and healthy eating.
Now, would that be Nexviazyme?
Yes, that's correct. And I started on that shortly after my diagnosis.
How did you come across that particular drug?
In my first appointment with my neurologist after getting my diagnosis, I was informed that there was a clinical trial taking place that I could choose to opt in. if I wanted. And that was something I was pretty excited about. It was a stage 3 trial, so it had already passed some of the safety tests. And, I felt like it was an opportunity for me to get access to a cutting edge treatment earlier than the rest of the population.
Have the symptoms subsided? Is this something that is an ongoing relief for you?
So Pompe disease is a progressive condition, and, it does get worse over time. So, frankly, anything to slow or stabilize that progression would be a huge win. For me, I've even seen something better than that. And, over these last few years, I found myself be able to do things that I couldn't do in the past. Things like I mentioned, being able to stand up without using my hands. I can do that now. I can move more quickly. So I've seen actually an upward progression rather than a slowed downward progression.
Now, you say that many states are using screenings after birth for the marker for this disease. During your research, who is affected? Is it more male, female, or can it affect anybody?
That's a good question, Neil. It seems to be, from what I've experienced, a wide range of people.
So what advice do you, as someone living with this condition, have for others who may be living with it or may suspect that they're living with this or some other rare disease?
So I would give 2 pieces of advice. The first piece is, the good part of your life is not over. I certainly felt that way when I got diagnosed. It was, oh no, this is the end of everything I enjoyed. And after I've had a few years to cope with that, I realized that's absolutely not the case. Mm-hmm. The second thing I would say is, when you have a rare disease, you do need to be an advocate. Medical professionals can't all be experts in something like this. So the more you can learn yourself, research, the better positioned you are to get the treatment and care you need.
Now, I understand that you've started a company based on some of the mobility issues that you had as a result of the condition.
Yeah, that's right. Shortly after my diagnosis in 2018, I was struggling to wear socks in the house. I would find that I didn't have enough stability and would, easily slip on wood or tile floors. And so that prompted me to start to, seek out, socks with grips on the bottom, so I would have more stability. The challenge is, many of those that were available in the market are, bulky, ill-fitting, not very attractive. And for me, it kind of screamed, I have a disability, and showcasing it to, anybody if I were to be wearing just my socks. So I decided to create my own. I founded a company we call Gripjoy, and we created what, look and feel like normal socks with very discreet grippers on the bottom that easily fit in shoes, which is usually a problem with non-slip socks. Mm-hmm. It's been really rewarding. I've not only been able to develop a product that can help people with conditions like Pompe, but I also have had the opportunity to give 10% of our profits back to organizations that work with people like myself and work to improve the lives of people with neuromuscular diseases.
Do you have a website where we can learn more about your company and about this condition as well?
Absolutely. My website is gripjoy.com. That's gripjoy.com.
Well, Alison, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Neil.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Alison Miles. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, listen in, download at SoundCloud, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, Health Professional Radio.